Kpaceguy here. Welcome back to a crispy chicken dinner. This is the Harmony remote from Logitech, the Harmony Ultimate Home. This remote is actually really good, guys. I told you in my last video, if you haven't seen the last video, I did an unboxing really quickly of it. It showed you what was inside and just the basic gestures and features that it had, but we're gonna go a little more in depth with this video. It's gonna be more of a review, talk about what I really like about it and what I wish was different, and give you guys a good idea if you should get this one or maybe a different one, if this is the remote for you or not. So hang on tight, we're gonna go for a ride. So real quickly, just in case you missed my last video, what comes inside this box is of course the remote there in the charging dock that you see there. Then you have the manual. You also are greeted with the Harmony hub and the IR blasters. Now there's two IR blasters and they're going to play a key role in the good and the bad of this remote. So there's a small bit of things in the box there, including this here. This is going to be the plug that you're going to use to plug it from your computer to the remote itself, because you're going to need to hook up the remote to the computer at first. So you can't use the remote unless you have some kind of desktop or laptop, so you're going to need one if you're going to set it up. But you don't need to do it through complete setup on a computer. Some of it's on the computer, but the majority of it can be done on an app via your phone or an iOS device, like a tablet, like an iPad or an iPhone, whatever you may have, but it does have an Android app as well. So this remote is actually really nice. I talked about it in my last video, but I love the way this remote feels. It feels really good in the hand. Those buttons are backlit, so you're going to be able to see that in any room, whether it's dark or light. Every button on there is backlit, which I think every remote should be. It should be a standard thing. It is a touch screen here, so you can tap that screen and go through all your menus, functions, devices, whatever you want to do, and it's going to respond to your touch, no problem. So I'll turn the brightness down for you guys so you can see the screen a little bit better, but completely touch capacitive and is haptic feedback. So that means that it vibrates on touch. So if I was to select something, it vibrates for me, or if it's updating, it vibrates. If you push any buttons at all, it vibrates for you, just to give you some kind of confirmation that an input was made. So I really like that. It feels really good. It's made of plastic, but it's durable plastic, and then on the back side it has this rubbery grip on the back, so you won't drop it or lose it unless you're just some butterfingers out there. But other than that, it's really going to hold well in your hand. It has grooves on the back side of it here, so that it fits perfectly in the natural resting position of your hands. It's going to sit right there where your hands naturally rest, and I think it's wonderful. So setting up the remote was really simple and easy, and I'll turn the brightness back up so you guys can see it, but it was simple and easy to set this remote up. It took me maybe 10 minutes total just to get through everything. You have to initialize it. It's going to connect to your Wi-Fi, and that's how it communicates with everything in the house. So your TV, your sound system, your DVD player, whatever you have on Wi-Fi, it's going to search through your Wi-Fi what devices you have. So make sure that your devices are on and connected to the same Wi-Fi as your remote, so that it can search and connect to your devices. It's going to automatically do that for you, so that you don't have to manually input any of your devices. Now in my case, it didn't find some of my devices, like maybe my one of my TVs wasn't shown up on the list, and some of the other things that I have weren't on the list, like maybe my AI60s, that's my Fluent speaker back there. There's a few things that I wanted to manually input, so it gives you the option to do that, and you do that during the initial setup when you have the app. So I'll put the app on screen here, but setting it up was completely easy. Took no time at all. It walked you through it step by step by step. There was never any time where I was scratching my head wondering what was going on or what is it talking about. It's pretty straightforward and it takes no time at all. Anybody can do it. And then the app itself is very intuitive. It's simplistic. There's not a lot of buttons or menus to go through. Everything is laid out right there for you. And you can also use that app as a remote as well. So of course you have the remote here, but if you want to change something in your room or change a song or whatever, and you don't have the remote nearby, but you have your phone or your tablet, you can change everything and use the remote on your phone via the app that it has. So I thought that was really cool. It's kind of like two remotes in one, and I thought that was a really nice touch. So I have my remote to handle a lot of my appliances and a lot of my electronics. So I can control anything as far as my TVs, of course, my sound system, the lights if I have any. I don't have any at the moment set up, but the lights, I can control the lights. I can control just about anything I want to. If I can get this to focus for you guys, I can show you through the menus. There we go. So I have my Amazon Fire TV hooked up to it. I have my Xbox hooked up to it, my LG TV, Samsung TV, and then a couple computers, plugs, and my speakers. So this thing can control absolutely everything you can think of, whether that's lights or your TV or maybe a record player. Anything that has an IR blaster, anything that has a remote to it, it can be controlled by this. And there's different settings you can go through to kind of configure this to your liking. So if I just click that button here, this is my in remote settings. So I can come and change the background, how bright or dim the screen is, how long it stays on before it goes off. Like if it's inactive for a certain amount of time, I can decide how long I want that to be inactive. I can even lock my settings, so if anybody wants to tamper with the remote when I'm gone, I can kind of lock it so they can't change anything. It's really simple, really simplistic. And it's really easy to learn. I figured out where everything is at pretty quickly, so it's really, really good, and I really like the remote, and it's something I'm probably going to hold on to and utilize for probably a good little while. One of the things that I really, really like about this that I think may be underrated is that it still works even in the dock. Now, a lot of times when you charge something, it completely locks the screen and you can't use it. But this, when it's dead, you can put it onto the dock here and still use it as you'd like to. So even if it dies on you, you still have your controls and everything you need. So I really, really appreciated that. One thing I really wished is, this is a really expensive remote. Now, I got mine for 44 bucks. I got mine used, but this thing retails for up into the $200, $300 range. And look at the menus, guys. It looks outdated. It looks old. There's no color, pizzazz, or anything like that at all to these menus. And so I wish kind of it had a little more of appealing look to it, but it doesn't. But that's just nitpicking. That's just one of the things I expect out of a remote this pricey, is everything to be almost perfect. So it's really a nice remote, but I think it should look aesthetically pleasing as well. The LCD screen could be a little bit better, but that's just nitpicking. Now, right next to the remote is one of the two IR blasters that you're gonna have. Now, this thing is gonna play a very important role in this remote, and if it's good for you. So you have that Logitech Harmony hub that's currently in my closet, and I'll show you that in just a minute, but actually I'll show it to you right now. So let me turn on the light for you, and I'll show you this. There's a hub that I have in my closet here. There we go. So this hub right here is able to be hidden anywhere in the room that you'd like it to be hidden. So you can put it in a closet, you can put it somewhere underneath an entertainment center, whatever you want to do, you can put it away. But this only communicates with the remote. So the remote inputs go to here, and then the IR blaster comes from here to the IRs that are given to you in the box. So I actually have one down there, and this has to be in line with your electronics. So for example, if I have my TV, my LG set up, this has to be in view of my TV in order for my inputs to work. This doesn't blast anything, it's just more of a receiver, and then it sends out that signal to your IR blasters, which sends it to the television. And that's how it works. So these have to be in sight of your electronics. So this won't work for different electronics in different rooms. So if this was here in my living room and I had a TV and a sound system in another bedroom, I could not use this with my other electronics in my other room. I would have to have two hubs. Now, you can have two. You can set this remote to switch between different hubs. So if you wanted to get another hub and put that hub in the other room, you can switch that remote between hubs, so you're still able to control everything with one remote, but you can't do it from one hub itself, if that makes any sense at all. So you have to have your IR blasters within viewing distance of whatever you're going to be controlling. So I have mine set right here on the speaker, and I'm able to control my TV, my Xbox, and my speakers, as well as my Amazon Fire TV with no issue whatsoever. So that's one thing to take note of, guys. If you're going to look at this, you're going to have to make sure that you put those IR blasters in view of where your electronics are going to be in order for this remote to work, or it will not work. But you can hide the hub itself if you like to. So the IR blasters are probably a good 10, 11 feet, so you're going to get a lot of distance out of them, and they're not very big at all, so they're not going to be an eyesore, but that's just a good something to note. Overall, this remote is a fantastic remote. Now, do I think it's worth the $200, $300 range? Absolutely not. I don't think any universal remote should be that high, no matter what it can control. But I do value this at $100, $150. So guys, if you can find this remote, this is the Logitech Harmony Home. If you can find this for $150 or less, I say get it. But anything higher than that, I think it's just too much. Now that can change in your opinion depending on what you're going to control. So for me, I'm not going to be controlling a lot of things, but a good fair amount. But some people want to control their, their heating and cooling. They want to control their lamps and their light fixtures and their security systems and things like that. And that's where that value comes from. This remote can control almost everything, if not everything. So you may find more value out of it than I do, but for 44 bucks, it was a steal, and I got it in white. So just look how gorgeous that looks in white. So it's a really good remote. I really like it. Everything is simple and easy to use and set up. The only part that gave me trouble was when I first started to set up. In the menus, whenever you set up the controller, and in the app when you set up the controller, it asks you to go to a website. Now, neither the app or the what do you call this thing right there, guys? Gosh dang it. Neither the app or the manual told you where to go on the website in order to set up. So if you type in myharmony.com or just myharmony on Google, it pops up with where you're supposed to go. It doesn't tell you directly where to go in the settings or in the manual, but if you go to your computer, you have to go to the website and set up your Logitech Harmony. You're going to have to do that with all their remotes. So at first I wasn't sure where to go, but it only took me a minute to figure it out. I just typed in My Harmony on the computer on Google and it popped right up, guys. So overall, this is a fantastic remote. It looks great, it feels great. I love the touch screen, I love the buttons, and I actually really don't mind the IR blasters whatsoever. Mine can communicate with all my electronics, and as soon as I get my receiver or my Marantz and get some other stuff in here, I'm going to hook those up to remote too and really get some value out of it. So who's this remote for? I think it's for anybody who has a lot of things to control with multiple remotes. If you have more than 3 remotes currently in your system, I think you should get a universal remote. 2 is okay, you can deal with 2, but if you're having 3 or more, you should definitely look into getting a remote. And then Logitech is like #1 brand when it comes to universal remotes. So those, you can't go wrong with Logitech's universal remote. So I think this remote's for anybody who has a lot of remotes already in their system and wants to minimize that, minimize the clutter, minimize having the switch remotes every time you want to change something or turn the volume up or switch inputs. It's a hassle. So if you can find this for 150 or less, I think it's a good remote. I think it's a really, really good remote, and it's easy for anybody of any age to use, whether you're tech savvy or not. It's going to help you set it up pretty quickly and easily, and it's not hard to learn. So if you can find that for that price point, I think you should go ahead and grab it. Find the white one, because man, that is one sexy remote. And I think you have a steal. So guys, if you appreciate this video, if you found this video informative in any kind of way, leave me a like down below as well as a comment. Let me know what remote do you have. I know you guys have some remotes out there, so what kind of remote do you have? Do you have a home? Do you have a Elite? Do you have an Order 650? Let me know what you guys have, and let me know what you guys think about this remote as well. And if I helped you out, hit that like button, and let's body slam that subscribe button today. Let's just choke it out today. Let's just do that. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Kpaceguy out.